Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well.
Take that!
I have Zycam in my mouth. And of course, good morning, Mini Motorways. Let's go to New York City for today's daily challenge, where we will have double roundabouts, which is excellent, but bridges require double road tiles, which is bad. It's not great. Good morning, Samurai Sam. Good afternoon, sun, flares, space. Oh, goodness. I did feel better yesterday afternoon. In a potentially related development, I pounded Gatorade most of the afternoon, and I haven't had any Gatorade today. Perhaps those scientists at the University of Florida were up to something. Or on to something, to, use the phraseology correctly. Why would we use phrases correctly? What kind of madman do you take me for? Person who talks well. I say. All right, let's draw this green road going out this way. These greens right here will join this and go off that, like so. So you three hoop over to here, get down in there, service this business. This is a lovely little shade of green. I like this. These oranges are also fine. They look good. We're in New York City, and when people say New York City, they mean Manhattan. Let's take two of these roundabouts. We'll get double roundabouts. We'll take traffic lights at some point, probably, maybe, who knows. This may as well zoop out that away. No, that away. Thank you. This orange business has gone further south. There are parts of this map that aren't Manhattan. You've got a little bit of off to the east here. This is, I don't know, Queens? Maybe Brooklyn? I think that's Brooklyn, actually. I've been to New York a handful of times, and I've been to parts of New York that aren't the part of New York that people talk about when they talk about New York. Like, I've been to shows at Barclays Center, which is in Brooklyn, which is in New York, but also not in the part of New York that people talk about when people talk about New York. And yet, I only, vaguely know the geography of New York City. And listen, if you don't live in New York City and you don't regularly travel to New York City, you don't need to know the geography of New York City. No one will be mad at you. Well, no one worth listening to will be mad at you if you don't know that Harlem is uptown. It's fine. At the same time, Harlem is uptown. It's north. It's like way the hell up here. We're way off the map here. This is southern Manhattan. This is the ass end of Central Park. This is the financial district. You got Wall Street's like here-ish, I think. I don't know. We'll take a look at it when we play Time Guesser. Oh goodness. Oh man. Oh goodness and man. Okay. We have a problem, actually. Well, now we have a bigger problem. See, the first problem is we got to get oranges over to here, but we're certainly not allowed to interfere with Central Park. So I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to start by corner cutting right here. We're going to hoop this over to there, do a terrible angle into this, and then zoop up there so that these pinks can get to this pink circle. Next, we're going to take these greens here and use the extra bit of real estate that we just afforded ourselves to get them into this business. Murder chop all of this road, except we're also going to have these two oranges come in that way and go over to that business. This should all be fine. Everybody go. Oh, God. Oh, I just hearing myself talk, it's like, wow, I sound so much worse now than I did yesterday afternoon. It's amazing what lying in one position for several hours and letting the crap pile up in your lungs will do to a person. Let's take 30 road tiles, help make sure that we're set on road tiles for a while. Bridges are going to cost double, so we might need a stockpile of road here. It'll be fine. The stockpile of roads is the bunch of shit they had left over after they built the Colossus, I guess. Like, they were like, hey, we the Rhodesians have made a Colossus, and we have all this shit left over. Well, behold, the stockpile of roads. No? I thought it was funny. The stockpile of roads is the title of the episode. For now. It's 7:05. We have time. Oh God. Samurai Sam has redeemed... Sam, I'm sick. Samurai Sam has redeemed Goog recaps the plot and would like for the _Goog to recap the plot of Final Fantasy VII, which is a wonderful video game that I have played like 6 times. I'm joking. It's funny. All right, let's take a motorway. We're not going to use it right now. So once upon a time, there was a boy named Cloud. We open on a shot of a girl in an alley. She's got a fleur, and she's praying or something. And it's a big, fancy... Oh, hi. Sunflower City says... Okay. Well, hold on. Sunny recently mentioned that they intended at one point to redeem 50,000 Goog bucks to play One Winged Angel. And now that Samurai Sam has asked us to recap the plot of Final Fantasy VII, this is as good a time as any. So there's a lady in an alley and she's praying over a weird green shit. Did I mention that it's a techno-apocalypse town, basically? It's techno-dystopia. There's capitalism run amok, everything's bad. But, fortunately, there are terrorists. Wait. Well, fortunately, there are terrorists is now the title of the episode. But fortunately, there are terrorists. We play as one of them. He has spiky yellow hair, his name is Cloud, he has an enormous sword. So these terrorists are on a train and they're breaking into a nuclear reactor, basically. And their plan is to blow it the fuck up. Like, we're not being subtle about this. It's like, this is bad and we need to stop it. Also, you know how we can't build a road that goes through Central Park? We can absolutely build a motorway that goes over Central Park. Congratulations, New Yorkers. You didn't want us to have a straight shot road, a single lane street through the middle of your precious park? Deal with an overpass, bitches. Sorry, I shouldn't have said bitches. Okay. So the terrorists break into the nuclear reactor, and long story short, they blow it up. But before they blow it up, we meet them. There's Cloud, he has spiky yellow hair and a sword and protagonist brain. And there's Barrett, he's a Japanese person's insulting stereotype of a black guy, basically. He also has a gun for an arm, which is cool. It's one of his defining character traits is that he has a gun for an arm, which is cool. He's also very cool. He's the boss, he's in charge. There's also Biggs and Wedge and Jesse, and we're doing the plot of Final Fantasy VII, not Final Fantasy VII Remake, and therefore you don't have to worry about them, they don't matter. In Final Fantasy VII Remake, they try to make you worry about them and imply that they matter, and it kind of works. But in Final Fantasy VII, you don't have to worry about them, they don't matter. We'll take another motorway because we're pretty good on roads. So Biggs, Wedge, Jesse, Cloud, and Barrett blow up the nuclear reactor, and it's all cool and fun or whatever. And there's a fight against a robot scorpion that goes pretty well. Cloud and Barrett are good at this, and Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge are also present for now. No spoilers or nothing, but you don't have to worry about these characters. They're not going to matter for a while. So we go back to the slums, and we're in this place called Midgar, and everybody lives in the slums, and the slums are so slummy that they just call them the slums. There's no like, hey, let's go home, or hey, let's go back to Seventh Heaven. No, it's just, let's go back to the slums. So they go back to the slums, and Midgar is basically like a pizza. You're going to hear this metaphor a number of times. Midgar is basically like a pizza. It's divided into 8 slices, and unlike most pizzas, these slices are of roughly equal size. Underneath each slices are slums. Tifa, Cloud, Barrett, and the whole Avalanche gang, basically, live in the slums of Sector 7. So, Cloud and Barrett go back and argue about money. And then I've already lost my intimate recollection of the plot, but listen, we need to hit the fast forward button at some point. I've spent 5 minutes on the first 5 hours of this game. Let's, not even 5 hours, come on, Goog. Let's take a bridge, because we don't need traffic lights. We're good. So the plan to blow up a nuclear reactor worked so damn well that we're gonna, shrug, do it again, I guess. So we're gonna do it again, except this time it goes bad because it's a video game and stories have to evolve at some point. Thank you, Sunflare Space, for redeeming 50,000 Goog bucks to play One Winged Angel. Please don't anybody do that again, although fuck if you want to do it. In the meantime, here are more lo-fi beats to chill and recap plots to. Lo-fi beats to chill and recap plots to would be a decent title of the episode, but I kind of want to see what comes of fortunately, there are terrorists, so I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure I won't get in trouble with nobody for nothing. Why would anyone want to get me in trouble for that? Anyway, so we're going to put this greenhouse down this way because this circle is mad. And then we're also going to draw motorway number 3 off in this direction. And we're going to ask motorway number 3 to do double duty and also support this business over here. Should be fine. No problems foreseen whatsoever. God, I sneezed. So Cloud and Barrett and Tifa. Did I mention that there's Tifa? Here's Tifa. So there's Tifa, and she's Cloud's, long-lost friend or whatever. Also, Cloud buys a flower. On the way out of the flaming wreckage of the first nuclear reactor they blew up. We should mention this. On the way out of the flaming wreckage of the nuclear reactor, Cloud runs into a flower girl. And, well, the player has agency, but this is a narrative telling of the plot, so we're going to say what I did. The Cloud buys a flower from the flower girl, isn't a tremendous dick to her, and then gives the flower to Tifa, because hashtag Cloti. Anyway, what are we going to do here? We're going to kill this road, we're going to do that, we've got motorway number 1 going over to here, we've got to get yellows over to here somehow, which, oh boy. Well, I can't exactly wait for the weekend to do that because it's Monday, so let's do that. Also, he's busy playing concerts and such, you really can't trust the weekend these days. We've got a problem. The problem specifically is this. Absolutely, Sam, if someone in this building here was to expel methane from their anus, it would indeed be greenhouse gas. Now then, I love my friends. They make the same jokes I make sometimes. All right, you come over to here. We're going to put a perfectly cromulent traffic light right here and pretend that these 6 houses are absolutely going to take this motorway right over Central Park, go over this way, and then come off here and support this business. That's going to go fine. Why would that not go fine? Why would you think that's going to be bad? That's going to be fine. It's going to go fine. Shit. Well, all right. Actually, not the end of the world, because we can just do this, and then we can just do that and have that go over to here, and that might actually factually be okay. Good. You come down here, take care of that. So Cloud and Tifa used to be childhood friends or whatever, and Tifa reminds Cloud of a promise he made to come save her whenever she's in trouble. And Cloud's all sad about stuff. Cloud gets sad about stuff a lot. But they go to the second nuclear reactor with intents to blow it up, but it turns out it was a trap. Because you see, President Shinra, who's the president of Shinra, the Shinra company is also named after the dudes who founded it and rule it as basically dynastic emperors of the city and by extension the world. It's cool, it's fun, it's a good game. Anyway, this traffic light desperately wants to be a roundabout right now. Because we can toss these yellows and this yellow into here. That all seems like it'll go fine. You should point out straightly, just like that. and I should take a motorway. All right, having successfully taken a motorway, I could probably fuck all of this nonsense, but it's here. I might as well live with it for now. You go that way, that's fine. You come here, everybody's okay, cool. So we go to the second nuclear reactor to blow it up, and it turns out bad because President Shinra has an awesome kill robot, except the good guys kill the awesome kill robot, so it wasn't that awesome a kill robot in retrospect. However, in dying, the awesome kill robot does explode, and it turned out that this battle took place over basically just a void to nothing, and by nothing, I mean if you fall down the hole, you're gonna land on the roof of a church. Cloud, would you believe it, falls down a hole and lands on the roof of a church, whereupon he meets the flower girl, whose name, as it turns out, is Aerith, or, if you're playing in 1997 on a PlayStation with a very poorly translated video game, is Eris. We're gonna try to call her Aerith, but we're gonna be bad at that. Just full disclosure right at the front, we're probably gonna call her Eris at some point, and by some point, I mean dozens of points. So Cloud meets Aerith. Also, I'm sick, so even when I say Aerith, it sounds like Eris. Oh god. Anyway, so Cloud meets Eris, and they chat, and then in come the Turks. And the Turks are badass, asshole, killer mercenary dudes in suits. They're very cool, but also evil. The Turks are basically button men for the Shinra, it seems. Like, if Shinra has a problem, they call the Turks to solve it, and at the moment the problem is that Eris exists, or perhaps just exists in a way that isn't directly under the control of the Shinra. That seems to be the real problem here, not so much that she exists, but that she exists in a way that isn't controlled by the Shinra. Bad. So Sam used to call her an astrological sign. Understandable. I think one time I did a playthrough where I spoonerized that and called her Aries. Fortunately, I never did a playthrough where I called her Austin Aries because Austin Aries is a jerk. Glorious. Let's take another bridge? Sure. We'll take another bridge. Should probably do something about this developing pink situation over here, because we've got like a train station and a circle business, both of which are divided among them reliant upon 3 pink houses. That's bad, but you know, it'll be fine. I'm sure everything will work out just fine. Here, you connect off that away. You have gone circular now, which is honestly basically okay. I don't have a real issue with you going circular, especially given the addition of these yellow houses. Yeah, you know, I think with the addition of these yellow houses here, we kind of don't need this little spur anymore. Yeah, this little spur was just ancillary at this point. We don't need it. It's gone. So, off you go into this particular yonder. Hey, you know what? While we're here doing stuff, why don't we do some stuff? Like, specifically, why don't we have this come up here, and this be a perfectly cromulent traffic light, and most of the time, these 3 yellows here are just going to go take care of this. These 2 here are probably not going to... Actually, I don't know. Which one to use closer? Hold on. Okay, so it is going to pull... Good. It's going to pull from the north first, before it comes from here. So this business is mostly drawing from over here, which means that most of the time, as we take another bridge, most of the time, this roundabout here is only present just to serve as a speed throttler for the orange guys. And that's fine. You need to speed throttle your orange guys every once in a while. Otherwise, they get reckless, and then children die, or something. I don't know. Alright, you 2 blues come into here, service this business, that'll be fine. You remember a few minutes ago when I said that we needed to do something about this pink situation? Yeah, this pink situation's kind of a disaster at the moment. Hi. Oh, you're terrible. Oh, who improved you? Oh, no. Okay. Well, interesting. Alright, here's what we'll do. You are an orange. Gonna go over to here. We're gonna It's gonna have to be fine. Here, let's toss... Can I toss another... Well, I can't really toss another roundabout in here. Okay. So... Fuck. What about a roundabout up here? Like a roundabout right there, actually. Yeah! A roundabout right there, actually, might not be the worst thing ever. Roundabout right there, actually, would allow us to have entry points from... Hold on, I'm kind of starting to like this. If you come over to here and you zoop down there... Okay, so... the oranges that want to go here are going to come this way, go into this roundabout, go into that roundabout, go over to here. The yellows that want to go here are mostly just going to go into that roundabout. Okay? That roundabout is going to get a little busy and it's going to be fine. All right, I was doing something about pinks. I don't have a motorway. I thought I had a motorway. Didn't I have a spare motorway? Could have sworn I had a spare motorway. It turns out I don't have a spare motorway. Shit. It'll probably wind up being fine. Hopefully. This pink business is only sort of fucked and dying. It's like, y'all remember the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon, right? They had a follow-up where it went, only sorta fucked and dying, only sorta fucked and dying. Well, it's a little bit more than sorta fucked and dying right now. But anyway, let's take these 3 pink houses up here, which are presently doing nothing, and toss them down here in the vague direction of the problem. Now, this is going to be an imperfect solution because, well, these 3 pinks are just going to go down here into this and go over that way. Let's see here. Where was I in the plot of Final Fantasy VII? Oh, right, the roof of a church. Cloud lands on the roof of a church, whereupon he meets Eris. She's the flower girl. They send the Turks. The Turks are button men in suits. They're badass and evil and awesome and badass. Cloud and Reno yell at each other. Reno's one of the Turks. He's a redheaded awesome asshole guy in a suit. Very important that you remember to describe the fact that the Turks wear suits, because the Turks are awesome in part because they wear suits. So the Turks show up and they're chasing people, and you run and you throw barrels and you bonk them with barrels, and it's fun. And then you jump and you run and you go to Eris's house, which is nice, and you meet Eris's mom, who isn't really her mom, because it turns out that Eris is part of this weird race of aliens? Question mark? Not quite aliens? Maybe aliens? I don't remember if the game ever decides if the Cetra Ketra? I think officially it's Ketra, but listen, we use soft C's in this household. We're fans of the Boston Celtics in as much as we care about professional basketball. I guess we're fans of the Celtics. Are we fans of the Celtics? Yeah, okay. Anyway, we use soft C's in this household, so Eris is a member of the Cetra, who are aliens? Question mark? Ancient people. Let's go with ancient people. So Eris is a member of the Ancient People, who used to be in charge, but then got fucked over by something called Genova, which sure sounds bad. And then they didn't rule the planet anymore, basically. TLDR stopped ruling planet, died off shortly thereafter, except for Eris's mom, and also Eris. Eris's mom died at a train station shortly after giving birth to Eris, who was adopted by Ifalna, the lady who found her at the train station. And if you're thinking to yourself, man, Ifalna sure is a weird fucking name. Don't worry, you're not going to have to worry about her for much of the game. This dark blue over here is fucked. Hold on. I thought you were kind of in trouble, so I added a couple of blues, but no, it turns out you're just fucked. Yeah, no, that's doomed. There's nothing I can do about that. We're in trouble. Yep, there she goes. Okay, well, I think we can prep some Samurai Slams. 1,720 commuters over 100 days. Sounds good. I have to sneeze again. Uh-oh. Ow. 1,720 commuters is bottom 40%, actually. Samurai Sam did better, 3,391. So, let's drop a Samurai Slams to the chat and bring up our Wordle scene. And Continue recapping the plot of Final Fantasy VII. So Aerith is a member of these ancient aliens, ? And it's really important that she be protected and not do anything stupid and risky. Cloud wants to go back to Sector 7 and reunite with his friends, but Aerith decides to do something stupid and risky and go with him. On the way, they stop and they play in a park for a while, and then they see Tifa in the back of a wagon being taken to a whorehouse. That's a literal recitation of text, basically. So Tifa in a wagon is taken to the back of a whorehouse, but the whorehouse doesn't let girls in. Full stop, reverse that. The whorehouse doesn't let dudes in. Did I say Tifa? I certainly didn't intend to. I did not intend to. I might have. Again, I'm sick. But they saw Tifa on a wagon being taken to a whorehouse. So the whorehouse, we're going to stop calling it that. So Don Corneo's mansion. It might be Corneo, actually. But again, it's 1997. We're 10 years old and playing this on a Sony PlayStation. Except for the part... Wait, I've called her Aerith like 1,000 times. Shit. God damn it. So Don Corneo's mansion will only allow people in if they are sexy lady types and not muscular dude with sword types. So Cloud and Aerith come up with the brilliant plan, mostly Aerith actually. Aerith comes up with the brilliant plan that we will disguise Cloud, a muscular dude with sword type, as a sexy lady type. Is there overlap between these two? Of course there is. Is this awkward to replay every single time you go through the video game? Of course it is. TLDR, they dress Cloud up like a sexy lady type, and again, because we're reciting the narrative of the way I played the video game, they do a very good job of it. And eventually, it turns out there's this gimmick where Don Corneo picks one of 3 chicks to boink, and then sends the other 2 off to be gang boinked by all of his minions. Don Corneo picks Cloud, the sexiest, ladiest type of them all, over Tifa and Aerith, which speaks to Don Corneo's particular tastes, I suppose. Tifa and Aerith kick the ever-loving shit out of Don Corneo's goons, and then Cloud threatens to cut off Don Corneo's dick. This, once again, is an absolute recitation of fact. Cloud threatens to cut off Don Corneo's dick, Tifa threatens to stomp his testicles into little squishy grape-type things, and Aerith threatens to give him a handjob, basically. Her threat is not exactly, great. Listen, as a 10-year-old child, I didn't understand that Cloud was threatening to cut off Don Corneo's dick, but now, with the benefit of hindsight, knowledge, and being alive for an additional 27 and a half years, yes, Cloud was threatening to cut off Don Corneo's dick. So Tifa, Cloud, and Aerith corner Don Corneo and get him to reveal that the Shinra's plan is to... The Shinra's plan... Listen, okay, the Shinra are the corporation that rules and controls the city of Midgar, right? Shinra's plan is to bomb the pillar that supports one of the sectors of Midgar, one of the plates. Like, Midgar is a city on a plate that's literally above a slum, right? The plan is to blow up the singular one and only one pillar that supports one of these plates and cause the plate and 12.5% of the infrastructure and population of the city of Midgar to smush down upon the slums of Sector 7, thereby wiping out this handful of dudes, this less than a baker's dozen of people, this munchkin box of people called Avalanche will be wiped out by the Shinra if they blow up a plate containing 12.5% of the city of Midgar and drop it on the slums and blow it up. Now, this seems like a bad plan, but there's also like false flag terrorism things, and they'll pin it on Avalanche, and they'll rally public support, and they'll build a city on a hill in the Promised Land or whatever. It's a whole thing. But the Shinra's plan is to drop the plate on Sector 7, and Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith decide that that's bad. So, they're about to run back when Don Corneo is, wait! Hey, fuckers, why do you think I told you all of this? It's because you're fucked! Ha ha ha! And he pulls a lever behind his bed, which releases a trapdoor under his giant rug, which sends the three of them careening down a hole into the sewers. Which would be bad enough, like gravity and sewer fucking is involved here, but then, there's an enormous monster called Apps. And the enormous monster called Apps is there to kill them, except they kill it and they move on with their lives. And for no particular reason, the wordle could be train. It's not. But hey, Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith go to a train graveyard, which is basically just an abandoned train yard, but it also features ghosts for some reason. Cloud steals a bitchin' sword from one of the ghosts, because as you do. And then Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith reunite with Barrett and go up on the... Wait. At first, Tifa sends Aerith to go save Barrett's daughter, Marlene, from the bar. Did I mention there's a bar? There's a bar. Barrett has a daughter. It's a whole thing. Okay. So Aerith goes off to save the daughter. Cloud and Tifa climb the pillar. They meet Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse, all of whom have been murdered, killed, and dead. See, I told you didn't have to care about these people. They go up to the top of the pillar. They meet Barrett. Barrett is fighting Reno. He's not winning. Barrett, Cloud, and Tifa fight Reno. They do win, or at least they fight to a draw or something, because Reno's like, oh, time to blow up the bomb. And then Reno blows up the bomb and everybody dies, except there's a part where Barrett finds a random hook on a cable, which is attached to ... question mark. They never really answer that one. But Cloud, Tifa, and Barrett swing to safety and crumple in the ruins of the park where Cloud and Aerith hung out. But Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse, totally dead. As far as Barrett knows, Marlene, totally dead. Except, did I mention, on the way out, just before the pillar blew up, Tseng, who is one of the Turks with just... Man, even when you're not sick, the absolute worst name to fucking pronounce. So Tseng reveals that he's kidnapped Eris, and also he likes to slap Eris because he's an asshole. He's a Turk. He's one of the Turks. Have we realized that the Turks are assholes yet? The Turks are assholes yet. Okay. So Tseng has kidnapped Eris, and he's flying her off to the Shinra building or whatever. And also, Sector 7 has been destroyed. Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse are dead. I told you don't have to care about these people because this is not the remake. This is the original. And the plan is we're going to go off to the Shinra building. And we do. We go off to the Shinra building. We climb 70 floors. We have some funny dialogue. And then we murder a whole bunch of fuckers. I'm really trying to step on the gas here, folks. We got so much more video game to get through. There's a T in this word. It could be clout. It could absolutely be clout. It's not, but in the moment it could have been. Okay. Okay. So we go to the Shinra building. It's 70 stories tall. We climb 61 of them. We climb 59 of them. And then we steal key cards, and then there's a puzzle, and then there's a thing, and then there's a map, and then there's a mayor named Domino. Did I mention that Midgar is a city and has a mayor, but the mayor really doesn't fucking matter? Yeah, Midgar is a city and has a mayor, but the mayor really doesn't fucking matter. And then we go up to the 70th floor, and then there's President Shinra, and then, oh shit, Sephiroth. Pause. Sephiroth, it turns out, is this big, amazing, important dude who Cloud fucking worships or whatever. Also, everybody knows who he is. They think he died 5 years ago. Turns out he's back. Also, there's a trail of blood. There's a trail of blood from the prison cells. Did I mention that there's a prison? Hold on. Did I mention that there's a biological experiment? We should probably... I stepped on the gas a little too hard. So there's this biological experiment conducted by Shinra's head of science named Hojo. And the first thing they find is a limbless, headless torso in a vat. Basically, they find this limbless, headless torso in a vat, and Cloud freaks out about it because it turns out that this limbless, headless torso in a vat is Jenova, Sephiroth's mom. And if those words don't mean anything to you, Jenova is the leader and also race of people who wiped out the Cetra. Sephiroth is the big bad of the video game, and mom is the word typically given to the female birther and caregiver of a child. Generally speaking. There was a lot of generalization in that sentence. Anyway, so Genova, Sephiroth's mom, is also a limbless, headless torso in a vat, and Cloud sees this and freaks the fuck out. And then he sees that Hojo, who is Shinra's head of science, has developed a fucking brilliant plan, because it turns out there's like centuries worth of research that they could do on Aerith, but the lifespan of a Cetra is like not centuries. So Hojo's plan, fucking brilliant plan, is that he's going to mate her with a talking dog. Yep, that's the plan. So the plan is that he's going to mate Aerith with a talking dog and then study their offspring for generations. Brilliant plan. Turns out Aerith not on board with this. Turns out talking dog not on board with this. The talking dog the talking dog has a name which he will not tell us, and he tells us that he was given the scientific, like he was categorized in the experiments of Hojo, the scientist who tortured him. His categorization was Red 13. This designation means nothing to him other than the fact that it is what the person who imprisoned and tortured him referred to him as. Not even called him, because he wasn't like talking to a person or anything. He was just referring to a specimen in a scientific experiment. Totally well, can you dehumanize a talking dog? An ethical question that Final Fantasy VII does not raise. It's too busy justifying eco-terrorism. So anyway, Red 13, which is what we're going to call him for the rest of the playthrough, because obviously, Red 13 and Aerith not on board with this plan. So we fight a giant monster and we kill it and we win and we're running away. Except, right, Trail of Blood. Oh, we get caught, we get imprisoned, there's a Trail of Blood. We get busted out of prison, we don't know how. Trail of Blood. Turns out the Trail of Blood goes up to the 70th floor. Turns out President Shinra is dead and there's a sword in his back. Oh shit, Sephiroth's alive. And also he's murdered the president of the Shinra. All hail the president of the Shinra, Rufus Shinra, son of President Shinra, now the president of the Shinra. He and Cloud stare at each other while Barret, Tifa, and Aerith and Red 13 run the fuck away. Tifa goes off to be like, oh, I have to rescue Cloud. So there's this forced mandatory battle where you have Barret, Red 13, and Aerith in a situation where only one character is allowed to attack. It's fun. Man, the first time you do that fight, you fucking die. And then you set up your materia right. And then the second time you do that fight, you fucking die, because it's a hard fight even if you've accounted for it. Hold on, I have to sneeze again. So this word, could be, I have no idea. It could be, no, it can't be stout. Okay, it could be, no, it can't be stony, because there's no N. There's no R, so it's not story. It could be stoke. It could be stoke. Could absolutely be stoke. It's not stoke. I was very proud of myself when I saw those couple of first screens, but nope, it's not stoke. So Cloud and Rufus Shinra have a fight, and once again they fight to a draw, and Rufus escapes on a helicopter. The dick. And then we all reunite with everybody and try to escape the Shinra building. And then there's a very cool track that goes, except it goes like that over and over and over again, and I won't bother doing it. So Cloud steals a motorcycle. Barret, Tifa, I'm just calling them Barris, that's bad. Barret, Tifa, and Aerith steal a three-wheeled truck. Everybody except Cloud gets in the three-wheeled truck, and they literally drive out of the Shinra building onto a highway in one of the cooler cutscenes in the video game. There's a mini game where Cloud slashes dudes on bikes with swords, and then they fight a giant roller boss who attacks them from behind. But if you set up your party right, it's not a big deal. And then, oh shit, it turns out that we have to leave the city of Midgar. Let's really step on the fucking gas here, people. So we go to Calm, which is a town next to Midgar, and we have an enormous fucking flashback, which is in contention for the worst part of the video game, just because it's immediately following this high-intensity moment, and then the plot is like, wait! You need context! So we learn all about Cloud and Sephiroth's backstory. Turns out Cloud used to be a soldier for the Shinra. He and Sephiroth went to Nibelheim, which is Cloud's hometown, and shit went real bad. Sephiroth learned that he's a descendant of Genova and the product of a scientific experiment by Hojo. Hojo's an asshole. Sephiroth goes nuts. Sephiroth burns the town down, slashes Tifa across the chest. It's real fucking bad. There's your context. So after we leave Calm, we go to a chocobo farm, we get a chocobo, we use a chocobo to cross a marsh. If we don't use a chocobo to cross the marsh, we get eaten by an enormous fuck-off snake. So we should probably use a chocobo to cross the marsh. We use a chocobo to cross the marsh. On the ass end of the marsh, we find the corpse of an enormous fuck-off snake impaled on a tree because Sephiroth? Dude's like dude-shaped, but apparently he can also impale corpses of enormous fuck-off snakes on giant trees. That's bad. Next, we go into the mines. They're purple. It's cool. We go through the mines. We meet Elena. She's the newest Turk. She's dumb. She reveals that Sephiroth was last seen heading for Junon. Thanks, Elena. Junon is like a tiny little baby Midgar in that there's rich, fancy people up top and then shithead poor fuckers living in the slums, except it's small. It's like 2 screens of map, so you don't have to worry about it that much. Also, on the way, we pointedly ignore a military installation with a bird statue. It looks dumb and boring. And then we go into the forest and we get assaulted by a ninja chick, but the ninja chick is pretty hot. So we recruit the ninja chick. It turns out her name is Yuffie because, again, it's 1997. We're 10 years old and playing this on a Sony PlayStation. So Yuffie's really into materia. She joins the party if you do her thing right because you read about it on the internet. Yuffie is totally optional, but this is a narrative of the way it was played by a 10-year-old in 1997 as much as we can remember. It could be Stomp. Could absolutely be Stomp. It's not Stomp. Oh well, we'll get there. So Yuffie really cares about materia. Yuffie joins the party. It's cool. We go to Junon. We meet a girl. She has a dolphin. There's a snake monster. It comes and fights us. It almost kills the girl. There's a terrible CPR mini game. We're good at the terrible CPR mini game eventually. We save the girl's life. We get another summon materia. Don't worry what those words mean. We're going too fast. We use the dolphin to jump over the lightning onto a pole, and then we climb up and we see an enormous fuck-off airship, which is really cool. And then we run into Junon, and we're in a military parade, and we do a da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da about stuff. It's very cool. We do a little twirly pose. We get another better sword, which is great, because now we're going on a boat. And we're going on a boat, and everybody's in disguise, mostly as sailors. Barrett has a cool little sailor suit outfit that makes him look like a marshmallow. He sees Rufus and Heidegger. Heidegger's the head of Shinra's military. He doesn't matter. We'll see him again in 30 hours. Barrett gets all mad, and then there's an alarm, and they're like, oh no, did we get caught on the boat? But it turns out it was Sephiroth again, and he leaves a little hunk of Genova for us to fight, which is a shithead move of him. But we kill the little hunk of Genova, and then we go off, and we're in Costa del Sol, which is this lovely little beach resort town, and we kick up soccer ball at Red 13, because we're just so fucking mean to Red 13 in this video game. And then we go through a mountain, and then it turns out we're in Corel, and Corel is Barrett's hometown, and we get Barrett backstory. Turns out Barrett used to work in the mines with this guy named Dine. Simple, easy, nice to remember. And they dug coal and shit, and it was fine and good or whatever, and nobody cared about climate change at this point. But then the Shinra came around and were like, oh, you should use fancy Mako power. And Barrett's like, but coal. And the Shinra's like, but fancy Mako power. And the townspeople of Corel are like, but coal. And the Shinra are like, fancy Mako power. And eventually, Barrett convinces Dine, yeah, okay, let's do fancy Mako power. Psych. Turns out the Shinra are fuckers. Barrett had not previously known that the Shinra were fuckers. It turns out the Shinra are fuckers. This explains how Barrett, enormous dark-skinned gentleman, is father to Marlene, tiny little pale-skinned girl. She's actually Dine's kid, but Barrett raised her because Barrett got Dine killed. It's bad. Turns out, so having learned all about Barrett's emotional trauma and seen him slink off away to be alone with his thoughts, the party naturally goes to Disney World. As you do. It turns out that Disney World is built in like a palace in the sky that's above... Man, lots of things in this thing are about rich people being above poor people. Have we noticed this? I think we're noticing a theme here. This word here, it could be stowy? I don't think that's not really a... It could be stosh. I don't think stosh isn't... No. Okay. It could be stogie. Could be like a word for a cigar. No? Okay, fine. We're in a lot of trouble with this word, folks. I don't know what the fuck it is. It could be stood. Let's just double up on guesses. Is it stood? Hey, it's stood. Great. We did the Wordle fine. Okay, so... Oh god, it's 7:45 and we're still in Corral. Okay. So we go to the Gold Saucer, which is basically Disney World, and we meet Kate Sith. Oh, fucking Kate Sith. Kate Sith is a remote-controlled cat piloting a giant stuffed bear, basically. So Kate Sith is a remote-controlled cat piloting a giant stuffed bear. Sam wants to see us play Time Guesser. All right. Hi there, people building Mount Rushmore. You're building Mount Rushmore. All right, well, this one feels easy. We're in South Dakota. We're at Mount Rushmore. Where the fuck is... Like, other than in South Dakota, where the fuck is Mount Rushmore? Like, seriously, y'all, where is South... Can anyone tell me where Mount Rushmore is? Because I don't fucking know. It's in South Dakota. Okay. It doesn't necessarily help. Because South Dakota is not, interesting. Team. We've got a bot helping us out. We can get the best viewers. Every word in that has weird punctuation. Okay. So, I mean, we should just throw a dart into the middle of South Dakota here. Left side, lower half. Thank you. Hello, southwest corner of North Dakota. South Dakota. Would help if we were in the correct Dakota. All right. Are we near Badlands? Is that what we're doing here? Friends? There's the Lakota Nation. There's the state line. There's Wounded Knee. There was a battle there, wasn't there? I don't know. There's the Citizen Kane Indian Reservation. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I've probably offended a great many people. The fuck are we? Oh, that was a county line. Okay. Okay, so I was way too far to the right. So we really are just like southwest corner of this fucking state. Okay. Maybe. Man, you'd think they'd put a dot here. Just like... 'Cause... Huh. Aha! There. Fucking hell. Alright, so we're there. As to the when of this, when was Mount Rushmore built? I don't fucking know. The 40s? No, we were doing a war in the 40s. The 30s? I mean, we were doing a depression in the 30s. The 20s? I guess it must have been the 20s. Because I don't think it was the 50s. And as previously stated, we were doing a war in the 40s and a depression in the 30s. So, yeah, okay. 1928. Yeah, I mean, it was more than one dude, but yeah, it was, it was a dude with money who hired people, and then he ran out of money, so it's faces instead of dudes. Oh, it was 1937. Okay, fine, whatever. Also, I was 10 meters away, so that's 5,000 points. Next, we've got, hi there. So this is a wedding of some sort. I think Well, I was going to say I think I know what country you're the queen of, but then I realized there are flags here. And that's a different country, so let's not look stupid. Instead, let's remember that these are the flags of Sweden? I think that's Sweden, so you must be the queen of Sweden or something. Happy marriage day, lady in Sweden. This is Sweden, right? We're going to go with that. So we got Swedish cops. Cool. As to the win of this, we got digital cameras all over the place, but not phones. I think if this was a Today joint, yeah, we'd have more than a couple of Blackberries doing the photo taken. So we're going to say we're in capital of Sweden, which is Stockholm, obviously. We knew that. We totally didn't just zoom in on the biggest dot and remember the name of a city or nothing. So we are somewhere near the Royal Palace of Sweden. We're going to say here. We're right there. And it is... Fuck, I don't know, 2007? Yeah, it could be 2007. It is 2010. Hooray. Also, we were on the other side of the building. Close enough. Next. Hi there, the South Pole. Wait a second. Hold on. Well, we're at a pole. Which pole? It's a good and important question. Can we decide which? Okay, so there's literally an entire world here. You're from Chile. Okay. You're from Chile. You're from possibly also Chile. Cool. South Pole it is. How does one south the South Pole? Game. Time guesser. Hold on. How do we... The map is flat, is the thing. Like we zoom in enough and it's just white. So, okay, let's follow this mountain range until we can't mountain range anymore. Once we can't mountain range, we'll probably, nope, that didn't help. Shit. Gabe, how do we South Pole this South Pole? I'm gonna be so mad when it turns out to be, like, Australia. Theoretically, the bottom line of the map is the South Pole because, yeah, all right. I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to be so exceedingly mad. All right. I feel like, all right, fine. All right, fine. There. As to the win of this, I have no earthly idea. 2010. This is Canada, isn't it? Okay. I was 330 miles away, was I? Was I really? I don't necessarily believe you. But okay. Also, the fucking president of Chile went to the South Pole? That's either pretty cool or the South Pole is lamer than I thought it was. Next. Okay. So this is Congreso de los Diputados, which is, maybe it must have been the summer, Sam. It gets up to like 30 some odd degrees in the summer in at the South Pole, I believe, in the summer, it gets up to like 20, 30 degrees. Also, it was this year. Well, that's another good reason. It's another good thing. Also, it was this year. Oops. Yeah, so it's warm. If they did it in, like, January. Yeah, if they did it in January, that means it's summer in the southern hemisphere. And shit gets up to, like, 20, 30 degrees or something, I think. As to, all right. Now this thing over here is Congreso de los Diputados, which is Congress of the Disputes. So this is just a fancy way of saying courthouse, and by fancy I mean foreign language. Let's just be clear about what we're saying here. We should use words to indicate things. All right. All right, so we got Spanish signs and a general junta feeling. Like I'm feeling kind of junta-y about stuff. It's not necessarily a great feeling. All right. So we've got 70s or 80s cars, signs and buildings in Spanish, and a general junta-y vibe around stuff. I don't know. This is when that dude who was dictator of Spain for a while was dictator of Spain, right? So that would make this Madrid, Spain in the late 70s. That feels directionally accurate. It could also be Mexico City in the early 90s for all I know. It turns out it was Spain in the late 70s. So late, they were, in fact, the early 80s. Okay. All right. And there was, I told you there was a junta vibe. It turns out there was a coup trying. All right. Next and last, we have, all right, so this little boy here is selling fruit. Good for him. Everybody needs a hobby. Oh, hi there. Given the hats, I'm kind of feeling... It's not. It's entirely too trains and roads based to be Amish country, isn't it? Also, power lines. Power lines should have been a dead giveaway that we're not in Amish country, Goog. Anyway, what is with this little child in the Renaissance page boy hat? It's a good question. Also, you got a bucket of stuff. Oh, there's a puppy. Look at the puppy. Oh, there's a puppy. All right. Where are we? Wonderful question. Don't really have much to go on here. We got kid in a hat. Okay. Oh, we have a sign. Thank God we have a sign. This says Sexativara Mule Colonial Varu. Okay. So, this is where the colonial sex workers work. Got it. Cool. What language is this? Something Northern European, possibly Dutch? That doesn't feel Dutch, but Scandinavian of some stripe, perhaps? All right. Hi there, tiny, perhaps potentially Scandinavian children. Sure is a lot of Scandinavia in Time Guesser. Has anyone noticed that? When might we be here? Could be Balkan. Sonny's not wrong. Could be Balkan, which is like Scandinavia adjacent, as I recall. Like these are Balkans, right? Yeah, these are functionally Scandinavia adjacent. All right. So let's. Oh, Samuel. Awful. You're probably right. All right. Listen, I have no idea if we're in Estonia or Latvia or Lithuania or Belarus or Moldova or Romania or Ukraine. We are in Krakow. We're in Krakow. We're in Krakow, Poland in probably not in Krakow, Poland. I was going to say sometime in the 40s, and I was like, wait. It's probably bad times for Poland. Let's say we're in Belgrade. That seems conceivable, as there's only several thousand reasons why we're not in Belgrade, but maybe we're in Belgrade in 1938. We are in Helsinki, Finland. Well, okay. Also, it was 1908, so that part went bad. All right, here's what we're gonna do. This is a true thing. It's a thing we're gonna do. First, I'm going to say that this is going to conclude our episode of Good Morning Mini Motorways. I will be back on Twitch later this evening for Dragon Age: The Veilguard, as we learn more about the time jumpers. No, that's not right. The group of people we just met and rescued from fuckery. Those people. We met a new party member, possibly. I don't think she's a party member yet. Listen, we started Dragon Age: The Veilguard last week, had a bunch of fun, and we're going to do more of it tonight, assuming I don't feel like garbage, which I probably won't. Also, for those of you watching on Twitch, stick around, because as soon as I hit this stop recording button, we're going to continue recapping the plot of Final Fantasy VII. Also, we'll do the Immaculate Grid. That'll be a Twitch exclusive, I guess, which is a thing that happens sometimes. Goodbye, YouTube!